Good evening. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Naperville Park District. It's Thursday, June 23rd, 2016. The time is 6:30 p.m. Jackie, would you please take the roll?
Sure. President Janner?
Here.
Vice President Riley?
Here.
Commissioner Egan?
Present.
Commissioner Ensign?
Here.
Commissioner Heidi?
Here.
Commissioner Todd? Here. Commissioner Young?
Here.
Next item on the agenda is matters from the public. Is anyone from the public signed up to speak?
No.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Item A under new business is the Bank of America purchasing card agenda item.
Move to approve the May 2016 disbursements made through the Bank of America Purchasing Card Program in the amount of $217,036.34.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Jack, would you please take the roll?
Sure. Vice President Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Vice President Janner?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is item B, declaration of surplus property.
Move to approve ordinance number 893, declaring certain Park District property as surplus and authorizing sale or disposal.
Second.
Any discussion? Jackie, please take the roll.
Vice President Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
President Janner?
Yes. Item C is Knock Park Central Maintenance Facility Project, public utilities, electrical, water, and wastewater installation fees.
Move to approve payment of electrical, water, and wastewater installation fees in the amount of $99,203.15 to the City of Naperville for the Knock Park Central Maintenance Facility Project.
Second.
Any discussion? Jackie, please take the roll.
Vice President Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
President Janner?
Yes. Item D under new business is related to the contract for furniture, fixtures, and equipment at the administration building.
Move to award the contract for furniture, fixtures, and equipment at the administration building to City 5 Incorporated in the amount of $62,354.39.
Second.
Any discussion? Jackie, please take the roll.
Vice President Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
President Janner?
Yes. Item E is the related to the Fort Hill Activity Center phone system.
Move to approve the purchase with Single Path to procure the network and hardware infrastructure that will provide the network hardware, network connectivity, and phone system expansion for the Fort Hill Activity Center for a total cost of $50,149.12.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, so I was just gonna
Please.
say that there is a change there from what you guys had.
Is this 44?
Yep. So what happened there is when I went back, since the agenda was sent out, and I looked through it, they were missing items in their quote, which is why they were cheaper than the other quote. So we are now awarding it to the second cheapest quote. That's the difference. And if anybody wants to see them, they're always here.
Any questions for Omar or anybody else on that? You all good with that?
So
Okay.
this is the cheapest?
Yes, it's not just the cheapest, but exactly what we need for that facility.
Any other discussion? Okay, Jackie, take the roll, please.
Vice President Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
President Janner?
Yes. Item F on the agenda is the minutes.
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes of June 9th, 2016.
Second.
Any discussion? Jackie, please take the roll.
Vice President Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
President Janner?
Yes. Item G is discussion items, starting with the mower purchase. Is that you, Kevin?
Yes, thank you. Included in the weekly packet was a description of our intent to purchase a large capacity Jacobson mower in the amount just over $46K. This piece of equipment has incurred us quite a bit of money to keep it up and running. We can get a new replacement under the National Joint Powers Alliance contract. This original mower was purchased in 2009, and this will be its 7th year of service.
So you're, if I understand your chart here, you said we spent $334 on it this year and $2,000 last year? Am I interpreting that right?
Well, year to date for this year, yes, and then last year, but the year prior, we had a significant contractual agreement. Total to date, we've expended over $21,000 to maintain this piece.
But nothing in the last 2 years? The 7 years, it's 20. Life to date, I would assume the 19,000 includes the 2,000 and the 334.
No, it does not. We keep that separate. So in the last 2 years, yes, we've spent just around $2,400.
What's the salvage value? Is that the one you had listed already?
We've gotten as much as $3,000 to $4,000 on these.
I saw you had one listed. This wasn't the one.
No, we don't list until the purchase is approved.
Any other questions?
Thanks.
Okay. Next item is asphalt emulsion.
Yes, that one is ours as well. We went out to bid a few weeks back for an annual bid where we go out to have our parking lots seal coated and repaired and striped. We had several people pick up the bid packages, however, we only received one formal bid, and that bid came in higher than our budgeted unit pricing. So at this time, we're going to reject that bid, so we will not be bringing a contract to the board for approval in the first meeting of July. We are going to rebid, and we're going to look at our specs so it's more open to other contractors. We found that that's why there was a specific product that was specified that may not have had alternates.
Kevin, what was the amount budgeted and what was the one bid that came back?
The actual budget for the project, I believe, was around $120,000, and the bid came in well over. I didn't bring that with
We prefer to get more than one bid.
me. Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So we're,
Specifically, it would appear that the specs are a little bit different this time around, for which there's probably some good justification for that. But that being said, Kevin's going to relook at this and see if we can adjust the specifications. That's why some people dropped off, when they saw that.
Yeah, it's just always surprising to me that, we only get like one bid or two bids on a, on a project. I mean, we pay our bills.
oh, absolutely right. No,
Well, you're thinking like
absolutely.
maybe some of the suppliers didn't have access to whatever materials and only the one had.
Exactly, and we also specified oil-based paint versus water-based because our striping was fading within the 3-year period, and many didn't like that. We went to a thicker patch number, went to 5 inches versus 2 inches, so there was a few things in there that the contractors did like. It's a very low margin business, so we're going to look at that, and then we hope to bring a contract for approval at the workshop in June.
Okay, good.
When
Thank
does
you.
this work need to be done by?
We usually target work to be completed prior to the school year starting. We usually have a nice window in August when leagues stop. We get a good 3-4, week window.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Kevin. Next item, item H, is department updates, starting with planning. Eric?
Yes, so next month, we plan on bringing a contract to the board for consideration for the DuPage River Sports Complex Field 1 drainage project. This project entails adding drainage tile in Field 1. As you may know, it's down in the basin, kind of detention basin adjacent to the river at DuPage River Sports Complex. This work is scheduled to be conducted in August. The duration of work should be done roughly in 2 to 3 weeks. And the budget for that in the 2016 capital budget is $120,000. So we just want to provide you an update. You'll be seeing that contract at a meeting, either at the regular meeting or a workshop meeting in July for consideration. The next item I just want to report on quickly is the Portable Activity Center. As we all know, we took the tour of the facility on May 26th. Since then, the indoor play equipment has all been installed and ready to go, including the protective carpeting. A lot of the wood in the gym floor, a good portion of that's completed. The river flooring, the Mondo flooring for the track and the fitness center has been delivered to those areas and is starting the process of being installed, as well as painting of walls. The terrazzo flooring, as we talked about when we visited the site in May, on the east and north quarters is complete. It's covered up now with cardboard, but everything's moving along, we're on track. We had a really good meeting last week with White Company to talk about equipment schedules, whether it's the fitness equipment, gymnastics equipment, pallet racks, working with Omar and the IT side. I mean, at the same time, we plan on being open in August. There is still a lot to do. And so we're coordinating all those minor details with the construction manager and moving things along. But they're thinking less than, or just a little over 2 months from now, the facility will be fully open.
What's going on at DuPage River Park right now?
DuPage River Park?
Yeah, the excavation over there.
That's the segment 5 trail.
Segment 5 trail.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you mean not Knowles Park?
No.
No.
DuPage River Sports
River is the
Complex.
access.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were referring to DuPage River Park on the other side.
No, no mistake.
DuPage River Sports Complex, that's all.
Okay,
That's the access to the,
okay.
It's a new trail for me.
Very good, thank you.
Segment 5.
Anything else, sir?
No, that's it, thank you.
Thank you.
On the indoor playground.
No handout?
Sure, Mr.
I can't fit on slide.
Next item is
So you
the
tried. I just- Yeah, okay.
Parks and Golf Department update. Kevin?
Yes, first I will start with golf and give you a little report on revenues and budget. Overall, we are doing very, very well. Overall, through May, our F&B numbers especially are at Naperville are 14% ahead budget, and overall year to date, it's 11.5%. And over at Springbrook, we're a little tighter on our rounds there. Overall greens revenue, because of rain, impacts Springbrook a little bit more. But we are still on target. But also over there, F&B is strong, and they're 14% ahead of budget. Overall year to date through June 21st, Naperville is $64,000 up, and Springbrook is $47,000 up. And also our programs are doing well. Our youth groups, we actually had 37 people on the waiting list. We were able to accommodate 24 of those. We actually tried to accommodate all, but since they felt they were on a waiting list, some of them decided to go do other things. But through Tim's action over at Naperville with extra instructors, we were able to get 24 more young people into the program. So it's going well. It's going well. And as far as parks, we are just very busy with our central shop move. It's ironic up there, you see a start of assigned parking. You get a little idea. If you have a few minutes, just walk right outside here and you see new lockers installed and an abundance more material with pallet racking. And peek outside, you see the 40-foot containers that you see over there on the drawing. That's where we're storing a lot of other equipment. So we have a couple more weeks now to finalize that. I know Brad is going to speak more on the move at the activity center, because this is all a bunch of moving pieces. And otherwise, tournaments are starting to slow down a little, giving park staff a little chance to catch up. Grass finally started slowing down, a little chance to catch up there. So overall, we're doing well.
Thank you, Kevin. Next department update is finance. Sue?
Yep, so we are just wrapping up working with marketing, the popular annual financial report. We'll call that the summary of the CAFR, plus a lot of great information and graphs that we'll be submitting for the award by the end of June. And in coordination with HR, we're processing with one of our payroll person being out, I've been more involved, so I got a real flavor of all the paperwork and how much it really takes hands-on to get all of these young people employed and in the system. So that's been fun. And then we're working on interfacing with the cafe. So that's been up for 3 weeks. We're working through a couple of glitches just on the back-end processing side with some credit card information, but working on their controls with them, and so that's going very well.
Thank you. Next item is marketing communications.
All right,
Sam?
thank you. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Obviously, there's a lot of things with the activity center, just general programming that we supported from a marketing perspective. We're working on developing the event for the Fort Hill Activity Center. We actually just had our last 50th anniversary committee meeting earlier this week, and just refining the details on that. At this point, what we're looking to do is create some kind of excitement around the event and draw people in as they're coming up to the building for that particular event. So that's just kind of refining those details. We're also working on the Fort Hill Activity Center marketing materials. Not surprisingly, a lot of effort's gone into the autumn program guide as far as those pages are concerned for that facility. It's brand new, all that information is brand new, so we've been working through that. We're also working on a program guide redesign that will roll out in the winter. If you'll remember, back in spring, in conjunction with the release of the ActiveNet registration software, we had done some improvements to the program guide, making it a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more readable. This will be kind of phase 2 of that redesign and just taking care of some of those extra details, making it even more readable. We're going to be looking at full color, which is a pretty nominal fee when you look at the overall scope of the guide. So that's something we're going to be looking at as well. Working with golf very closely as we come upon the Springbrook Range project here pretty quickly, so looking to do some further communications around that. And then on Wednesday's going to be a busy week with Capra and all of that, but I will be speaking on a panel for the Publicity Club of Chicago about branding. So we'll be doing that next Wednesday. Thank you.
And if, were you saying full color on all the pages?
Mm-hmm.
I would think that would be a substantial cost.
We're going to price it out. We're actually going to be taking the program guide to bid. It's the 3-year contract is up.
Right.
Last time I looked at it, so about 3 years ago, because we had kind of dabbled in that, thought, is this something that we want to do? And at that point in time, it was about $2,000 per season. So we're looking at about $8,000 across. So to print as many guides as we do, I thought that was a pretty good price. So that's something we're going to look at bidding. We'll have that as like an option B.
Sure.
We'll take a look at those numbers.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Next department update is IT. Omar?
Yeah, so we're in full support mode right now with everything open, the cafe just opening as well. But more so, we're focusing on a lot of the moves that are going on right now. We have a lot of the staff already moved into this area back here. We've moved some people to the north offices at the 219 location. We'll be moving some people after next week with CAPRA reaccreditation over to the downstairs admin boardroom. There'll be 4 staff working out of there and during the time that rec staff move out. And then we're also moving some people to work out of this lunchroom. So there'll be workstations in here as well. And we're just trying to, stay afloat with that in regards to scheduling everything, making sure it's pertinent for staff and their time that they need to work. Kevin's scheduled to come down here tomorrow. So other than that, it's preparation for the Fort Hill. We have a good portion of the workstations actually already built, and that way when we move in, we'll just bring them over there and start testing everything, pending obviously the network infrastructure being installed.
How long are people going to have to work out of this room?
In this room, it actually would be
Thinking about 9 to 10 months.
yeah.
And when we say working, that's not permanent. It's so parks and trade staff can have access to see the readouts and do research
Oh, so
for
it's not-
products, and then they're
It's
out.
at 8 hours a desk.
Yeah.
Not permanent
Yeah.
city.
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Omar. Next department update is HR. Katie?
Well, my staff is drowning in paper right now as we bring on new staff and with new people and additional, just the volume of people, the issues increase as well. So a lot going on. We've had some increased accidents, both reportable, non-reportable, nothing off the charts. It's all in line with what is typical, but we're just really ramping up. In addition, we are supporting the other departments in bringing on additional staff. If you recall, with the Activity Center, 3 full-time custodial positions were added to the organization. At the time, they're called Rec Support. Rec Support has been renamed to custodial because it's a little more indicative of what they truly do. We had 3 positions, 2 of which were filled with internal applicants that were part-time, and then 1 brand new individual is joining our organization. So we had 1 person start almost 2 weeks ago, and the other 2 are going to be starting in a few days. Today, Cindy Bittenbinder and I sat down with the new coordinators that are going to be working out at the Activity Center and went through our Hiring 101 training. That's a training that we typically do in February to really help new supervisors understand the hiring process from the very beginning to separation. But because we have the coordinators coming in at kind of an odd time, We did a training today to kind of get them up to speed and really start getting them acclimated to how our organization runs and our processes and procedures. Cindy's also been working on some of the wellness items. As you may recall with the transfer to IPBC, the wellness initiative for staff has been brought in-house more so with her. And we are working to secure an organization that's going to come in and do the annual screening. And staff will be happy to know it won't be a stabbing anymore. It will be a finger stick. IPBC will actually pay the fees for those on-site screenings, but we get to select the vendor. So we've been working on that to make sure that we get somebody that really, we want to keep the momentum going, and we think that selecting a vendor that can do the finger stick will be helpful. And then I'm just going to throw more paper at people here in the next week because it will be, as Kevin mentioned earlier, mid-year appraisal time because we don't have enough going on. So yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff going on right now.
What is reportable versus non-reportable? What does that mean?
Whether or not the individual had medical attention, then it would go on the OSHA log. Not reportable is when we can do things with basic first aid. You clean out a cut, throw a Band-Aid on it kind of thing.
Just a mere flesh wound. Just a mere flesh wound.
Yeah.
You've seen Monty Python, right? Do you know about that?
I've seen mine.
I didn't need that.
Okay, thank you, Katie. Next department update is recreation. Brad?
Okay, I'll start with a few facility updates. As you've heard, the cafe has now been open for a few weeks. We've actually, I've got 19 days worth of financials from the cafe so far. We've had over 2,500 guests that have come in and have ordered at the cafe. Our revenues for those first 19 days are at $33,000 to begin with. As we get to close out the month, I'll have a better stance as to where we're at with labor and some of the food costs, and we'll begin running that right in line with what our overall revenues are for the cafe. We're working through some staffing challenges, and when I say that, just working through some consistencies with food, with service, especially when our food and beverage manager is not there. He has been spending a considerable amount of time at Riverwalk Cafe, really getting operations in line and just making sure that it's running the best they can. So over the next few weeks, that's what we're focusing on now, is getting staff all trained in, all familiar with the operations, and getting the consistency of the food and service to a better level. Beach, we've had a very nice start to.
Question
Yes.
before you move on. Just doing some quick math, 33,000, 2,500 people, that's like $13 a visitor.
It's just under $12 per visitor, yes.
That's
the average.
surprisingly high. I mean, I'm impressed.
Chicken avocado sandwich is the number one favorite.
It's awesome.
And the Riverwalk nachos.
Are we doing much dinner
Twice
business?
a day.
We are, well, we're doing dinner business, so this past weekend, actually, our three highest revenue days were this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all with the weather being what it was. We were at over $3,000 in revenue each day for those days. What we're also finding, and we weren't anticipating it as much as we're getting, is during the weekdays, a lunch rush. So we've got a lot of people that are coming over, not only to sit there, but to get the takeout to then take back to their offices. They're walking to the cafe and then they're taking it back to their offices. So that's something we've now had to adjust our schedules, our staffing schedules, and some of our operations in the back to accommodate that rush. So,
How about the DuPage River crab cake? Does that stand tall?
We also will be we're going to be doing grilling. We have a grill now.
What they do
Back
with
installed.
Okay.
You will smell the Riverwalk Cafe.
In beer and wine sales, they seem to be going
Yes,
okay? Or?
they're going very well. Yes.
$12 per person.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's not so much when you look at it.
Centennial Beach, as I was mentioning, very nice start to the year. If you recall, the last 3 years, the month of June really has not done us any favors with the weather. This year is the opposite. Our beach pass sales were at 93% of budget, so just over $300,000 in Centennial Beach pass sales. Our daily admissions, we are basically on pace with 2012. 2012 is our highest year in the past 15 plus years that we have the records on, where we had 175,000 visitors that came to Centennial Beach. So we are only $6,000 off of what our daily fees were for 2012. We're $78,000 over this same time frame as last year. So that just gives you a sense as to how far ahead we are compared to 2015. Centennial Grill is actually $3,000 ahead of where we were at in 2012. Again, comparing it back to what our highest year was on record. And we're $34,000 ahead of the same time frame as last year. So the grill is operating very well right now too. Programs through the month of May remain up 9%, and it's not just in one category. We're seeing all of our categories, whether it's arts, youth sports, so on, we're up slightly in each one of those categories. Our expenses through the month of May are also in line with where they should be. Our profit margin's consistent with this same time frame as 2015. So that's working very well there too with just program registrations. As a few mentioned before, there's a few dominoes that are going to be falling over the course of the next month to 2 months. Just with the barn and shop coming down, this Saturday is actually our last program that will take place at the barn, and then we turn the barn over completely to Ribfest for their use for checking in volunteers throughout the event. So at this point, we're in the process of moving all of our program supplies out, moving those to different locations, either storing them prior to being able to move into Fort Hill, or getting them to their new homes as far as where those programs will be located. At the same time, we've got Capra coming in next week in the boardroom. As soon as Capra is done in the boardroom, we'll be transitioning that to some office space for park staff, because the recreation staff that are still in admin will not have moved to Fort Hill yet to free up those office spots. So during the month of July, we expect the entire month of July that the boardroom is not going to be available for any meetings. If there were any committee meetings that were in there, we're in the process of relocating those to other sites. In early July, Omar and his team will get into Fort Hill, are scheduled to get into Fort Hill to start setting up the data room that is there. And then we have a number, almost every week in July, we've got different furniture and fixtures that will be coming into the Fort Hill facility. One of the big ones will be the furniture delivery, which is all of the office cubicles and all the other furniture that will go into the facility. That's scheduled for mid-July, July 13th through the 15th. After that point, then we can get computers actually over to the facility. We can get phones over to the facility, and then we can start moving staff over to that facility to start freeing up those spots then for park staff to be able to move in. We'll also be able to take on supply loads. So all of the different group exercise supplies, childcare supplies, etc., that can all begin to come in after about July 15th. We can actually take shipments at the site. So that's kind of a big date for us over at Fort Hill. The fitness equipment, gymnastics equipment, that will all be coming the week following in July. So a lot of movement there as far as getting it set up. During the month of July, we're also doing a lot of hiring right now. With the activity center coming on, we've got about 75 different positions. Some of the positions have already been hired and brought on, but we have a number of part-time positions, whether it's gymnastics instructors, childcare attendants, cafe attendants, registration desk attendants, fitness, etc. that we've got a number of staff working on right now, and Barry and Katie and all the different paperwork that's involved in that. So that will continue through July, as well as a considerable amount of training, just general staff orientations, and then the additional training that takes place, preparing people to be able to function there. We'll have a number of staff that are training at the administration building. So if you stop by the administration building in July, you may see more registration staff than typical, because we will start bringing in the new registration staff to start training at the administration building before we move over to Fort Hill. In August, our registration staff will then actually move over to Fort Hill, so that once we're open to the public, they can begin processing registrations there. And then the furniture purchase that you approved tonight, that will actually transition the registration office area at the administration building, so that we can then move recreation staff, those who are remaining at admin, upstairs, and then the park staff can move from the boardroom into the office. So
There's a quick.
there's just a few things happening.
It's really, this is probably the most insane you're ever going to, I mean, it's just,
This is
to try to make this all work. We smile a lot.
We're just gonna show up for meetings.
Just so you know where to show up
Yeah.
in the morning. If you show up at the right office.
So will we not have a reception desk at the admin building anymore then? Is it all gonna be at Fort Hill?
So what will end up happening, we've already started advertising, in fact, we have signs at the administration building. During the month of August, we will transition all registration operations away from the administration building. The administration building is truly going to become an office building in administration. We are going to keep a community relations staff person back at the administration building for about a month to 2 months. We'll gauge based on the foot traffic we're seeing. So that if someone comes in, they're not aware, we can still help them and then inform them, next time, please go to one of our other locations. Registration, facility rentals, all of those functions will take place at Fort Hill, and it's actually expanded quite a bit, knowing that we're open until 10 o'clock most nights, and then we're also open on weekends. The downtown registration location will be at the Riverwalk Community Center. So last year, we actually completed a renovation to the upper level lobby of the RCC to accommodate a new desk there that would accommodate additional staff to be able to work at that location. So that was in preparation for what's happening now. We also then have the Nature Center and 95th Street Center where we have registration, so there's 4 locations throughout the community.
Oh, okay. Nature Center too for all registration, not just Nature Center?
Yes, we have some limited hours at the Nature Center during the weekdays for registrations, but the 95th Street Center here in South End is open regular 8:30 to 5.
I think the communication on that obviously will be critical, the
Yes.
program guide, because there's a lot of people that just walk, they're going for a walk and they just stroll into that building.
Yeah.
They didn't necessarily plan on it, and then they register for programs, so, we certainly don't want to see a negative, hit on the program registrations, because people walk there and they don't do it, and then all of a sudden, something comes up and they never get it done.
They can walk down
But they can go across the street
Yeah.
to the Rubens Center.
And
Yeah, okay, right.
we've got quite a bit of communication. Fall program guide will have information. As I mentioned, we've already started putting out signs. We'll actually increase that as we get
Sure.
closer to that time frame. And then, as I mentioned, our thought is we're keeping someone there so that we can assist customers when they come in within the first few weeks that happens. For able to features.
Anything else, Brett?
That's enough.
Thank you. Next item is administration. Jackie, you got anything?
That's me, I do. As you've heard a couple times, Capra will be here next week. It seems like a really nice group. There's 2 of them coming from Arizona, so they're very happy to get out of their 120-degree weather. And then I have 1 gentleman is coming from North Carolina. They'll be here Monday afternoon, and they leave Thursday afternoon. So they're not here a ton. Any dinner or any event we've done, we've tried to incorporate it into a facility we want them to see or something we want to highlight. We are taking them to Fort Hill. Thank you for all your responses. If something changes and you find you can come, we'll be fine. So please just, plan on being there if you can. And we're all ready. Omar and his team have done a great job helping me with the IT portion, and I think it'll be a really smooth. I've asked them a few times. They've been very impressed with the product we've given them so far and have had no questions. And they have the submission, so it should be a really smooth, easy week.
Are there any higher requirements for either the nights for dinner or either of them?
No, we
More
said we're
dressy.
staying, I let them know that we're a business casual office, and we kind of just decided we'll, keep our normal dress, whatever you're comfortable in.
But, yeah.
So we should
Did
show
Jim
up
wanted
in
me
suit
to
and tie to make
clarify
it feel
that he
awkward.
has to wear clothes?
Please don't do that to me right now.
It says NPD on the back.
Yeah.
That's how you go from 100% down to 98, right?
I'm not even going there. And then I wanted to let you know, I'm going to be gone the week of 4th of July, and I'll send out another note. But I won't miss a meeting, but it impacts the packet. I'll be back on Tuesday the 12th, and we'll send out your packet on that day. I'll post it right away, and then send it out to you that day. So just so I let you know ahead of time and there's no problem, it'll be for the July 14th meeting. Pretty standard fare, and again, I'll get the agenda out to you via email in the morning, and then you'll get your packet delivery by afternoon, early evening. Okay, and I'll send a reminder next week. I will have access to email, so if you have a problem.
So we will get the whole packet by email on the 12th?
Not the whole packet, because that one gets a little big because but I'll have it posted on the web and I bookmark it.
Okay.
So you can access it right away. I'll send an email letting you know as soon as I post it. That one's a little big because I usually have P-card, I have the AP report.
Yeah.
So that would be really hard to send via email. But I'll post it right away so that you have access to it right away.
I had one quick thing, just a reminder. This year, the Labor Day Parade, we're being honored. We talked about that a couple months ago. We will be the Grand Marshal of the parade. So your availability would be much appreciated. What we're going to be doing is contacting as many previous commissioners as we can find. I'm working with Glenn Eakey and Dwayne Hosmer to identify ones that are still in this area and still amongst the living. And the thought would be to get like a hay wagon or something to put everybody on.
A long walk or some of that.
So I Court Keniston the other day, I mean,
He's
not
not
working very well at all, but he wants to be a part of it somehow, so we'll figure that out. But just FYI.
Did the golf cart is it dead?
We would be using the golf, there's too many of you.
Okay, well, I just.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna try to get as many people on
Or something.
a float or something, because I thought that was more appropriate than just, they wanted me to walk.
Schreiner cars?
Accept the honor, and I said, it's not appropriate.
We can emphasize wellness and walk.
Yeah, if someone
If you
could
can.
walk, if you can, so that might be, that's a good option. If you can walk, great, if you can't, we'll have something there for you.
Do I have to do any sort of registration, or will it will automatic, because we're
I would assume it'd be automatic, but you know what, it wouldn't be.
double check?
Send me an email, remind me, I'll send it to
Okay.
Paul, send it to Karen. Make sure.
Does the parade fall on which day?
Monday.
Is it the Monday?
Labor Day.
This year Labor Day.
No, I mean, it's a weekend, it's a whole weekend.
Yes. For some, it's a whole week.
Because you're a parade professional.
You're all gonna go to Tilt World first.
September 5th.
Okay. Rough crowd.
We're on your side.
Anything else? Okay, next item is executive session.
Move to adjourn to executive session to discuss imminent litigation under 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act
And land acquisition.
and land acquisition under 2C11.
Second.
This is voice vote.
Roll
Roll call, please take the roll, Jake.
Vice President Riley?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
President Janner?
Yes.